But when you've got all these indicia of fraud, extra days of counting, the decision to pause counting in places like Philadelphia and Fulton County, Georgia, why on earth would you do that? A timeout? Frankly, the Justice Department ought to be investigating that. Share with them the Judicial Watch information about how in Pennsylvania they have more people on the rolls than are eligible to vote. Our litigation found at least 800,000 names on the rolls. Our litigation found that in Pennsylvania, the state and the counties were giving different numbers to the courts about how many people were on the rolls. They don't even know how many people were in the rolls. How does that reassure you that the election was conducted in an appropriate way and only those eligible to vote voted? In Nevada, Clark County, they have several counties with more people on the rolls than eligible to vote. Clark County, I think, is the biggest county in Nevada. I think that's the county for Las Vegas. And they have 102% registration rate. That's the numbers we had just before the election. 154,000 extra names on the rolls just before the election. Does that reassure you that the election was fair and honest in Nevada? Asking you. And if it doesn't, share that detail with your state representative, because that's what they should be factoring in too. What's happening in the other states? North Carolina, there are 1 million extra names on the rolls according to our lawsuit. So if you don't like what's going on, you should be active. You need to be really communicating every day with your state legislator. And it depends on the state. I'm not going to pretend to know how every state is the name of the House. I don't know if it's the House of Delegates or the House of Representatives or the state senators, however your state legislature is composed, or Commonwealth in the case of Pennsylvania. But you should be calling all your state elected representatives, all of them, and the state legislature especially, because they have a unique constitutional ability and duty to appoint electors, and they don't have to follow the popular vote. That's the long and short of it. So I wouldn't recommend, personally, as a matter of policy, that when there's a vote that's pretty fairly administered, it looks like, and there are no issues, at least apparently. I mean, there's no really good reason, in my view, as a matter of policy, for state legislators to stop it, to kind of overturn the will of the people. That would be an abuse, it would seem to me. But when you've got all these indicia of fraud, extra days of counting, the decision to pause counting in places like Philadelphia and Fulton County, Georgia, why on earth would you do that? A timeout? Frankly, the Justice Department ought to be investigating that. And that's another concerning thing. Where is the Justice Department? Where is the Justice Department? Why aren't they securing ballots within reason? Why aren't they policing these places? Why aren't they enforcing court orders? Why aren't they aggressively investigating fraud? Where is Bill Barr? Where is Bill Barr? He hasn't made one public statement since the election about this. I think the Justice Department issued a statement on Twitter, the Justice Department spokesman, telling if you find fraud, call your local FBI office. I mean, talk about a brush off. He should be out there standing for the rule of law and, frankly, going to court to preserve the rule of law along the lines that I've been discussing. So I know it's been a long week. I'm sure you're all stressed out. It's been, we've been working super hard here at Judicial Watch. As I said, we've got these historic lawsuits already active in multiple states, ongoing Freedom of Information Act request active in the states at issue, looking for opportunities to intervene either with direct litigation or amicus briefs, friend of court briefs. Our lawyers are on it. We're figuring out what to do. But in the end, remember, it's Congress that decides who won the election. So along those lines, you should educate yourself about the Electoral College so that you're able to communicate with your state legislators in an effective way. And it's available. What happened, just Google what happens in a disputed election with the Electoral College. Google or Bing or whatever, DuckDuckGo. And you'll see you'll see what happens. And encourage your senators and congressmen to say, you know what, we're watching. We're watching because we are the ultimate arbiters of what's going on in these states. And I tell you, Pennsylvania, if you want your electors to be counted, they should be saying, you need to do X, Y, and Z in terms of assuring us that fraud didn't take place. But like I said, it's too late in that regard. I don't know how you undo, put the horses back in the barn, the genie in the bottle, the milk back in the carton, whatever mixed metaphor I want to pursue.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.